Changing Your Adjectives, written and read by Brother Jerry Valenti. The number of people following Jesus has grown to a great number. As the large group is departing from the city of Jericho, they encounter blind Bartimaeus, the son of Timaeus, sitting by the highway side begging. When blind Bartimaeus hears that Jesus is passing by, he cries out to the Lord and asks him to grant him sight. Recognizing the man's faith, Jesus grants the request. The man immediately receives his sight, and he then joins the large group following Jesus. I find it interesting that the man in this story is referred to as blind Bartimaeus. Imagine having your disability included as part of your name when people refer to you. How would you like being referred to as Deaf David, Crippled Christine, or Limping Larry? Or how about undesirable character traits being used as adjectives? You'd hardly be flattered to be known as Mean Mira, Lying Lila, Cheating Charlie, etc. And feel free to insert your own name and appropriate adjectives here. By the end of the story referenced above, it of course no longer makes sense to refer to the man as blind Bartimaeus, since his sight has been restored. He is now seeing Bartimaeus. Also, since he has now given his life to Christ, he has gone from being condemned Bartimaeus to being saved Bartimaeus. Jesus has changed his adjectives. Since the Lord is the same today as he was then, it's not unreasonable to assume that he can change our adjectives today too. Are there any adjectives that describe you that you'd like him to change? If you suffer with some type of physical or mental illness, perhaps you might describe yourself as achy Anna or depressed Dennis. Can the Lord really change these adjectives? Well, do you believe he can? Looking back at the story of Bartimaeus, it was clear that he believed that Jesus could take away his blindness. He seized the opportunity to reach out for Jesus when he was nearby and directly asked him to perform a miracle. Are you willing to do the same? Although these types of miracles don't happen every time, they do happen sometimes. And if you don't ask, the likelihood of it happening for you is even less. Well-meaning friends may try to discourage you from looking to the Lord for a miracle. What did Bartimaeus do when the surrounding people tried to stop him from crying out for Jesus? He cried out for him even louder. Don't let unbelievers discourage you from reaching out for the Lord. If you believe that he can change your adjectives regarding physical or mental illness, seek prayer for your condition and then leave the outcome in his hands. Perhaps your undesirable adjective is more in the spiritual realm, such as prideful Priscilla, envious Evan, or any of the ones mentioned earlier. What can you do to change those adjectives? Well, the basic process is similar to the one just described. Reach out to Jesus for help. The primary difference is that whereas it's obvious when you have a physical need, it may be less obvious that you have a spiritual need. You need to be able to recognize this for yourself and be willing to humble yourself before the Lord and ask for his assistance. What are your adjectives today? What would you like them to be? Do you want to try changing them with New Year's resolutions? Or would you rather look to Jesus to do it? If you've given your life to the Lord, he's already changed at least one adjective for you from sinner to saint. Now trust in him to change other adjectives too, such that you can be best positioned to be a fit follower of Christ.